Let's go right to our scripture. Again, I've been posting scriptures that are very familiar, and I've done that with the intent, the purpose, that we go down through sort of the, as I said yesterday, the chocolate layer cake, that we go down through the layers in scripture and we apply technology to interpret in the modern era, interpret 2,000, sometimes older, scriptures. And I've spoken an awful lot about Revelation 9:1, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. We've discussed this for years. And we've said that to access that system, one will have to make the decision to take the mark of the beast. Well, that means that you have a new identity. The big takeaway is the identity, the digital identity. Remember way back, over 3 years ago, I introduced what was known as the sentient world simulation, something that was put together at Purdue University. That was in 2006. White paper published 2007. It went live. All of the intelligence communities around the world are tied into and participate in the SWS. In that sentient world simulation, which is driven by classical, but primarily because of the encryption driven by quantum computing, this simulation, which is self-aware, okay, tracks every person on the planet already, represents every person on the planet as a computer node, and we are going to be talking later on today about AI, the history of AI, and computer nodes, and neural nodes, and neural networks. So I haven't forgotten about the history of AI. It's on our list. But everyone is represented in the software as a computer node and given an avatar. That avatar is your identity. That's your digital identity in the simulation, in the sentient world simulation. It's one thing to have a cryptocurrency. It's another to have the blockchain system of distributed ledgers. And as we covered yesterday, we talked about permissionless access. That means everybody can get in. Or permission only, private key encryption versus public key. Okay, so we covered that extensively yesterday. But now to add to the key, which we're going to talk about again, as I said, the key to the bottomless pit. This is another example of the key, is, as I've said many, many times, the key to the bottomless pit is that private key that decrypts the information on opening the bottomless pit. And even talking about defining the pit itself. We go into mathematics, we talk about Google's claimed quantum supremacy and that their algorithm is essentially endless, infinite. It's a pit, it's a mathematical pit, and we said that a couple of months ago. But here now what we're adding to this is the layer of identity, being digitally identified in this system. That's the mark of the beast, folks. The digital identity. Now, I've said that DNA, third strand of DNA, dormant nanoparticle DNA, activated through 5G and 6G, resulting in a physical mark. That mark is tied to your digital identity. It is linked. That physical mark is linked. This is why we've been talking about nanodiamonds. This nanodiamond sensor system is the mark of the beast. The physical mark of the beast will manifest. And I believe at this point it will be composed of nanodiamonds, that physical mark. But the nanodiamonds serve as the link, as I demonstrated to you last week. The nanodiamonds provide the physical connection to the digital realm. They are sensors. They are nano-digital sensors. They can receive data, they can process to a limited degree, and then transmit the results of that computational process. We have to look at the red flags. They choose their words very carefully and specifically. Decentralized, okay? I already said blockchain is not decentralized. When you look at the encryption and the private key by way of quantum computing that we elaborated on again last night. Then you look at portable digital identity. Guess what? Mark of the beast on your body, that's pretty portable, isn't it? And a prerequisite, okay? Got to take the mark or you can't access the system. Prerequisite to financial inclusion and competition. Remember, we have talked about the underbanked, the underserved, the bankless, those words that have been bantied around regarding Libra is to include, inclusion, right? The inclusion of well over 1 billion people that no longer have never used banks. People who only use cash or people who use a barter system. They don't use banks. They want to include them because they're underbanked and they're underserved. They make it sound so politically correct and sensitive. No, what they want is to be able to have every single person tracked through the Mark of the Beast system. That's what digital identity is. We've been building this picture, folks. I've been getting many emails in the last couple of days, especially since last night's live stream. People are telling me, I'm finally getting the picture. No, I'm not being condescending saying that. It is a very complex picture. It's very hard to wrap your head around. These things have to be digested. They have to be repeated. They have to be broken down into chunks, fed again, then reconfigured and put into different packages and then repeated and given again. And then it begins to make sense. Then it begins to look like clarity. Folks, we are seeing the beast system coming together, the jigsaw puzzle pieces coming together so fast now. I was talking again about the dominoes. I was talking about the birth pangs. You cannot deny the fact, and I know you guys aren't. I'm just saying sort of, broad stroke here. You cannot deny that this is all the components of the beast system coming together in rapid fashion. Next year, 2020, I talked about that last night. I won't go into it again. Here we go.